Hello students, in the previous lecture we have seen about a model of the image degradation or restoration process and some noise models. Also we have seen restoration in the presence of noise only in spatial filtering. Now in today's lecture we will see about periodic noise reduction by frequency domain filtering. In that we will see about band reject filters, band pass filters, notch filters and optimum notch filters, and also about linear position invariant degradations. So let's start with domain filtering. So the periodic noise can be analyzed and filtered effectively using frequency domain techniques. So the basic idea is that periodic noise appears of concentrated burst of energy in the Fourier transform. So at the locations of corresponding to the frequencies of the periodic interface. So the approach is to use the selective filter to isolate the noise. So the three types of selective filters which will be we have seen in chapter 4 are used for the basic periodic noise reduction. So the basic approach is for a selective filter is used to isolate the noise. Now band reject filters. So the transfer functions of ideal Butterworth or Gaussian band reject filters, which is introduced in chapter 4. So it shows the perspective plots of these filters, and the following example illustrates the using band reject filter for reducing the effect of periodic noise. So one of the principal applications of band reject filtering is for noise removal in applications where the general location of noise is components or components. So in the frequency domain is approximately known. So good example of is an image corrupted by additive periodic noise that can be approximated as two-dimensional sinusoidal functions. It is not difficult to show that the Fourier transform of a sine cosine consists of two impulses that are mirror images of each other about the origin of the transform. So their impulses are both imaginary, means the real part of the Fourier transform of a sine is 0, and are complex conjugates of each other. So our purpose here at the moment is to illustrate the band reject filtering. So here this figure is so the from left to right perspective plots of ideal Butterworth of order 1 and Gaussian band reject filters. So here this is the figure same as here. So uh, it shows the image heavily corrupted by sinusoidal noise of various frequency. The noise components are easily seen as symmetric pairs of bright dots in the Fourier spectrum. So in this example, the components are lie on the approximate circle about the origin of the transform. So circularly symmetric band reject filter is good. So here figure C, it shows a Butterworth band reject filter of order 4 with the appropriate radius and width to enclose completely the noise impulses. So it is desirable in general to remove as little as possible from transform. Sharp narrow filters are common in band reject filtering. So the result of filtering of figure A with the filter, we can see it in figure. D. So this improvement is quite evident. Even small details and structures were restored effectively by this simple filtering approach. Now, notch filters. So notch filter rejects or passes frequencies in predefined neighborhoods about a center frequency. So here this figure shows a 3D plots of ideal Butterworth and Gaussian notch filters. So due to symmetry of the Fourier transform, notch filters must appear in symmetric pairs about the origin in order to obtain meaningful results. The one exception to this rule is if the notch filter is located at the origin, in which case it appears by itself, although we show only one pair of illustrative purposes. So the number of pairs of notch filters that can be implemented is arbitrary. So the shape of the notch areas can be rectangular. So here this figure shows the notch filtering approach that follows the reduces the noise in this image without introducing the appreciable blurring. So unless blurring is desirable for the reasons, here notch filtering is preferable if a suitable filter can be found. So here figure A, it is a contribution in the frequency domain to be concentrated along the vertical axis. So the noise is not dominant enough to have the clear pattern along this axis, as is evident from the spectrum shown in figure B. We can get an idea of what the noise contribution looks like by constructing a simple ideal notch pass filter along the vertical axis of the Fourier transform, as we can see here in figure C. Figure here, the result of processing the image with the notch filter, we can see here. So this image contains significantly fewer visible noise scans than this image A. Now optimum notch filtering. So it is another example of periodic image degradation. Shows a digital image of a Martin terrain taken by the Mariner 6 spacecraft. So the interference pattern is somewhat similar to this figure. So here the former pattern is considerably more subtle and consequently harder to detect in the frequency plane. This figure shows the Fourier spectrum of the image in question. So the star-like components were caused by the interference, and server L pair components are present, indicating that the pattern contains more than just one sinusoidal component. So here, when several interference components are present, the method discussed in the preceding sections are not always acceptable because they may remove too much image information in the filtering process. So in addition, the interference components generally are not single frequency bursts. Instead, they tend to have broad skirts that carry information about interference patterns. So that these skirts are not always easily detectable from the normal transform background. So alternative filtering methods are reduced the effect of the degradation are quite useful in many applications. So the method discussed here is optimum in the sense that we minimize local variations of the restored estimate f of xy. So the procedure consists of first isolating principal contributions of the interference pattern and then subtracting a variable weighted portion of the pattern from the corrupted image. So we develop the procedure in the context of a specific application. The basic approach is quite general and can be applied to other restoration tasks in which multiple periodic transfer is a problem. So the first step is to extract the principal frequency components of the interference pattern. So this can be done by placing a notch pass filter H into NP of UV as the location of each spike. So here place a notch filter at the location of each spike will be N of UV is equal to H and P into N of UV into G of UV, where GUV denotes the Fourier transform of a corrupted image. Formation of HNP UV requires considerable judgment about what is or not an interference spike. So this region, the notch pass filter generally is constructed interactively by observing the spectrum of G of UV on a display. So after a particular filter has been selected, a corresponding pattern in the spatial domain is obtained from the expression nxy is equal to for inverse formation of H and P into UV into G of UV. So because the corrupted image is assumed to be formed by addition of the uncorrupted image f of xy and the interference of if n xy were known, completely subtracting the pattern from G of xy to obtain f of xy, which would be simple matter. So filtering procedure usually yields only an approximation of the true pattern. The effects of components not present in the estimate of nxy can be minimized instead of subtracting image from G of xy. So a weighted portion of nxy to obtain the estimation of f of xy, which is f of xy is equal to G of xy minus w of xy into n of xy. So f of xy is estimated of f of xy and w of xy is to determine. So the function w of xy is called a weighting and modulation function, and the objective of the procedure is to select this function so that the result is optimized in some meaningful way. So here one approach is to select w of xy is that variance of estimate of f of xy is minimized over a specified neighborhood of every point of xy. So here consider a neighborhood of size 2a plus 1 by 2b plus 1 about a point of xy. So the local variance of exponential f of xy at coordinates xy can be estimated from the samples as here. Sigma square xy is equal to 1 upon 2a plus 1 into 2b plus 1. Sigma s is equal to minus a to a, t is equal to minus b to b into f of x plus s, y plus t minus exponential f bar into xy raised to whole square. So here the local variance of f of xy exponential f xy is sigma square of xy is equal to here 1 upon 2a plus 1 2b plus 1, limit is s is equal to minus a to a, t is equal to minus b to b, f of x plus s, y plus t minus exponential f bar of xy raised to whole square. So here assuming that w of xy remains essentially constant over the neighborhood which is we can get here 1 upon 2a plus 1, 2b plus 1, sigma s is equal to a minus 1 this to a, b minus t is equal to minus b to b, s is equal to minus a to a, into here g of x plus s y plus t minus w into x plus s y plus t and x plus s y plus s minus g bar of xy minus wxy and xy bar raised to whole square. So here if we minimize del square of x sigma square of xy, so for w of xy the result is here. This is the result. So to obtain the restored image exponential fxy, we compute w of xy and then use this equation. So here w of xy is assumed to be constant in a neighborhood. Computing this function for every value of x and y in the image is unnecessary. So instead of w of xy is computed for one point in each overlapping neighborhood. So here this image is show the result of applying the preceding technique to the image here. So this image is size of 512 into 512 pixels and a neighborhood with a is equal to b is equal to 50 was selected. So this figure shows the Fourier spectrum of the corrupted image. So the origin was not shifted to the center of the frequency plane in the particular case. So u is equal to v is equal to 0 is at the top of the left corner here of the transform image. So we can see here. So this figure shows the spectrum of n of uv where only the noise spikes are present. So this figure shows the interference pattern of nxy obtained by taking the inverse Fourier transform of n of uv. So here similarly between this pattern and the structure of the noise pattern of this figure. So this figure shows the processed image obtained by using the equation. So the periodic interface was removed for all practical purposes. So here linear position, invariant and degradations. So the input relationships in this figure before the restoration stage is expressed as g of xy is equal to h into fxy. So g of xy is equal to h f of xy plus n xy. For the moment, let's assume that n of xy is equal to 0. So that g of xy is equal to h of xy. So here h is the linear if h into af1 of xy plus bf2 of xy is equal to ah into f1 of xy plus bh into f2 of xy. So here f1 and f2 are the only input images. Here a and b are the scars and f1 xy and f2 xy are the input images. So here an operator having the input output relationships. So g of xy is equal to h of xy is said to be position invariant if h of x minus a and alpha and y minus beta is equal to g of x minus alpha and y minus beta for any f of xy and any alpha and beta. So fxy is equal to minus infinite to infinite, and limit is minus infinite to infinite 2 times into f of alpha in beta. So theta delta here x minus a y minus x minus alpha y minus beta into d alpha and d beta. So here are the substitutions. So assume for a moment that n of xy is equal to 0 if h is a linear operator. So g of xy is equal to h of xy, which is h into limit is minus infinite to infinite, minus theta infinite to infinite, infinite to infinite, f into alpha beta, f of alpha beta. So finally we here get this equation. So here f of alpha and beta is independent of x and y, and using the homogeneity property, by that we can get this equation. So it is known as the impulse response of h. In other words, if n of xy is equal to 0, then here h of x alpha y beta is the response of h to the impulse at coordinates x y. So in here the impulse becomes a point of light, and h x alpha y beta is commonly referred to as a point spread functions, PSF. So the name arises that the fact that all physical optical systems are spread where a point of light to some degree, with the amount of blurring being determined by quality of the optical components. So by this equation it is known as a superposition or Fredholm integral of the first kind. So this expression is a fundamental result that it is a core of the linear system theory. Now assume for a moment that n of xy is equal to 0 if h is a linear operator and position of invariant. So here we can get this equation. Limit is minus infinite to infinite f alpha beta h into delta x minus a x minus alpha y minus beta into dA dB. So we can get here this equation. So this expression is a convolution integral introduced for one of the variable in this equation, which is h. So in the presence of additive noise, the expression of the linear degradation model, which becomes g of xy is equal to limit is minus infinite to infinite f alpha beta into h x minus alpha y minus beta dA dB d alpha d beta plus n of xy is equal to hxy into fxy plus nxy. So here we can get the frequency domain is GUV is equal to HUV FUV plus NUV. So here estimating the degradation function. So the three principal ways to estimate the degradation function, which is observation, experimentation and mathematical modeling. So here estimation by modeling, in that mathematical modeling. So degradation modeling has been used for many years because of insight it affords into the image restoration problem. In some cases, the model can even taken into account environmental conditions that cause degradations. For example, a degradation model proposed by Humphrey and Stanley, which is based on the physical characteristics of atmospheric uh, turbulence. So the Gaussian LPF is used sometimes here. So the model has a familiar form, which is h of uv is equal to e raised to minus k into u square plus v square raised to 5 by 6. So here k is a constant that depends on the nature of the turbulence, with the exception of the 5 upon 6 power on the exponent. This equation is same from as the Gaussian low pass filter. So the Gaussian low pass filter is used sometime to model mild uniform blurring. So this is shows the example obtained by simulating blurring of an image using this equation. So it has a value of k is equal to 0.0025. So k is equal to 0.0001, which is for mild turbulence, and k is equal to 0.00025 for low turbulence. So all images are size of 480 by 480 pixels. Another major approach is in modeling is to derive a mathematical model starting from basic principles. So here we illustrate this procedure by treating in some detail that the case in which the image has been blurred by uniform linear motion between the image and the sensor during the image acquisition. So suppose that an image f of xy undergoes planar motion and that x0 into t and y0 of t are the time varying components of the motion in the x and y directions respectively. So the total exposure at any point of a recording medium is obtained by integrating the this exposure over the time interval during which the imaging system shutter is open. So here assume that the shutter opening and closing takes the place and that the optical imaging process is perfect. So it isolates the effect of an image motion. Then if t is the duration of the exposure, it follows that g of xy is equal to limit is 0 to t into f x minus x0 into t, y minus y0 into t. So here g of xy is a blurred image. So g of here from this to we can get here this equation. So by reversing the order of integration in this equation to be expressed like this, time limit is 0 to t minus infinite to infinite f of x minus x0 into t, y minus y0 into t into e raised to minus j2 pi ux plus vy dx dy dt. So the term inside the outer brackets is the Fourier transform of the displayed function f of x into x0 of t minus y into minus y0 into t. So using these equations we can get here f of uv e raised to minus j 2 pi into ux0 of t plus vy0 of t into dt. So as an illustration, suppose that the image in the question undergoes uniform linear motion in the x direction only at a rate given by x0 of t is equal to at upon t when t is equal to t. So the image has been displaced by the total distance a with y0 is equal to y0 of t is equal to 0. The equation will be h of uv, time limit is 0 to t, e raised to minus j 2 pi ux0 of t, vy0 of t. So suppose that the image undergoes uniform linear motion, then we can get h of uv here. So the final is t upon pi ua sine pi ua into e raised to minus j pi ua. So here suppose that the h vanishes at the value of u given by u is equal to n upon a, where n is an integer. If we allow the y component to vary as well with the motion given by y0 is equal to bt upon t, then the degradation function becomes h of uv is equal to t upon pi of uv plus vb sine pi into ua plus vb into e raised to minus j pi ua plus vb. So this figure is an image blurred by computing the Fourier transform of the image. So multiplying the transform by h of uv and taking the inverse transform, these images are of size 688 into 688, 688 by 688 pixels, and the parameters used here a is equal to b is equal to 0.1 and t is equal to 1. So recovery of the original image from its blurred counterpart presents some interesting challenges, particularly when the noise is present in the degraded image. Thank you.